Thank you for staying with the Monday Report. We're still here with Honorable William Kabogo, the Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication, Technology and the Digital Economy. And before we took the break, Waziri, we were talking about the difference between suppression and allowing the freedom of expression. Do you have a problem with the caricatures that have appeared online?
Well, Trevor, if you, for lack of a better example, caricatures, you may have a problem defining who they depict. But your guess, Trevor, is as good as mine. Because when you see it, you know who they refer to. I'm taking it back to you because you're the one asking.
Is that a problem?
I don't
even
have if cartoons, people do cartoons about people.
Okay.
I personally, the day I was in KBC and I did those things, I saw a bald head with hair on the side. Trevor, and like a small pot. And I knew this is me. I have no issues with it. Honestly speaking, I have no issues with it. But when you put me in a coffin with my real image, surely, I tell my sons, who are Gen Zs, that you will do this to Trevor today, because you're 20 and energetic, and that's it, you're in that age. But tomorrow get married, you'll have a son hopefully in 9 months, and in 20 years that son will be a Gen Z. You will be 42 if you are 20 then. And your father is put in a coffin with his actual image. How will you feel? Let's be responsible. That's all I'm saying. This internet space is great for driving innovation and development, and our contribution of ICT to GDP is 2%. And it has the potential of going to 30, 40%. Let's use it. You understand? Let's not use it to malizana, so to speak.
Some would argue that that's exactly what part of the government has actually done. Kumalizana, despite the fact that they may have felt bad about what they saw.
I am saying my suggestions of responsive, my suggestion, Trevor, cuts both ways. It's not responsibility on the part of the citizen and irresponsibility on the part of government. Let us use internet responsibly. And you remember that you're in government today, tomorrow you will not be in government at some point. When you were young, it was Moi. I was there. Kibaki, I was there. Uhuru, I was with him. William Ruto, the president now, His Excellency, I am there. So it is true, they come and go. Kama sasa, when I entered the ministry, they have portraits of all ministers. Then you hear rumors, wewe umekuja na hiyo moto, wanakujanga na wanaenda. You see, they are there. So that reminds me, picha ile ya mwisho itakuwa ni ya kwangu. But for the time I am there, let's do things right and do the right things.
Okay. I'm going to the online questions that are coming up, quite a lot of them coming through. But before that, let's go back to a bit of politics here. There's a time when you're speaking in Mkuyu again. You told the people of Mount Kenya to stay away from makelele.
Yes.
In fact, you told them if the makelele continues, they might not find themselves in government. What did you mean by that? I'm
saying, Trevor, we make too much noise, a lot of noise. Like, if you now see what is happening on the other side against government, there's always two sides. They stop in a market, you will hear a lot of Toboa, Chapa, Maliza, these things. There is a government in office that is serving you. You're supposed to be served without fear or favor. But I'm telling you, it is not the whole country that will be served the same day. Can we be the first ones to attract service?
Doesn't that come back to the shareholding conversation
No. That's not what I'm saying. There is 140 billion this year for roads. Which ones will be done? You know, I told you, we speak like we bury your head in the sand, like you don't belong to Kenya.
But the
My
law
friend, the way we operate,
that is the law.
The way it is the law.
Yes, and you said.
But the government has a plan. Trevor, I've been governor, I've been an MP, I am now a minister. There is a silent law of how to operate. You must operate within given atmosphere.
What is that silent law?
Trevor, you are now behaving like you don't belong to Kenya.
I'm not in government.
You are not in government, but you're Kenyan.
Yes, and according to what I know as a Kenyan,
you blame Kenya.
Resources should be distributed equitably across the country, regardless of those who are expressing dissatisfaction. That is what I know as a Kenyan.
You blame Kenya for having too much politics. You understand? Politics is by politicians to Mananchi. Because the attraction of a politician is the vote. So politics or campaigns have started in earnest. You have seen, you cannot say no. Who is entertaining this thing? It is us, the Kenyan people. What you ask is what you get. You're asking to be addressed politically, and they will address you because you are what they are looking for.
Okay.
Yes.
But
why can't we as Kenyans think a little bit and say, watcha, this time, let's just ask our MP, why is this Maendeleo not happening?
But why can't we as Kenyans just agree that you can express dissatisfaction, the makelele you refer to, and it is absolutely okay?
There's no problem with it.
Why does that
If I find you, Trevor, because one day I may find you in the streets undermining with a placard, perfect. You have reason to do that, and it's allowed.
Okay.
But we cannot just be politicking all the time.
So this warning was for Mount Kenya people to stay away from politics? Yes,
I'm saying it's not them.
Okay.
You know, if I don't tell them, who will tell them? I've been to Kakamega, I was in Kisumu, tomorrow I'm going to be in Eldoret.
Yeah.
People make noise in Eldoret, even if the president comes from there. But, you know, in a manner that does not make people worry about being there.
Isn't that a sign of dissatisfaction?
It is, could be, yes.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you don't expect me to own up to the truth. You're about to ask me my position on this issue of abductions. If they happen, yes. Who does it? I don't know. But I believe it is the duty of the Inspector General of Police to protect the lives and the property of Kenyans. The buck stops with him. It's as simple as that. I don't want to hide under something government, cabinet, and say it otherwise. The president himself said. You get? Same way President Kenyatta said we're losing 2 billion to corruption. He said it himself. And you know it's true. What did we do?
That is happening
Tusikue nchi ya kelele tu. That's what I'm saying. Tukue nchi pia ya kufikiria about tomorrow. What's going to happen to our country? Are we going to have a country? We must have an understanding that we operate within the cornerstones of the law. It may be very bad for you today, but may help you tomorrow. In the early days of the 70s, when we were young boys, I'd go with my father and a policeman stops the car. He stops. Even if he's a public servant, he stops. And the guy had a white cap, and what do you call that cane? The cane that they put here.
Yeah.
Then he says, hello, sir, brakes. He does inspection. He moves to the next one. As you wait, you understand? Until he asks you to leave. Trevor, that is called order. When I saw one evening, a policeman had stopped a matatu at Globe Cinema roundabout, and he was thugged like a wild animal. I knew, bas, this is it. This is it. Anarchy starts that way. And you know there are countries that don't have the rule of law. Survival for the fittest, the rule of the jungle. We have defined our katiba, one of the good katibas in the continent. It's not perfect, but let's do things within some understanding.
But are you concerned that those same matatus you're referring to are allegedly owned by the high and mighty in this country?
There is a way in law to deal with it. True or not true? The way to deal with it is not mob justice in the streets.
That some of them are
It is not mob justice.
Some of them are
You know, people go and remove women because they have dressed in a particular way. You go and undress them. Are you saying that because they are seductive, that is what is the treatment?
Okay, but let's come back to the conversation we're having, because you also mentioned that the abduction stopped with the Inspector General.
Yes.
He was supposed to appear in court. He did not. What does that tell you?
The court should do what it needs to do to get him to appear. That's my take.
Should he then...
Don't put me in trouble. That's my take.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's bring up the questions coming in online. A lot of questions are coming on online. Let's bring up the first one. And on 22422, you can also get that SMS in and tell us your name and where you're texting from. Chris Senanu says, please ask CS what strategic plans he has for the industry specifically focused on artificial intelligence and cyber security infrastructure. What are his fiber rollout targets? What are your fiber rollout targets? So, focus artificial intelligence, cyber security, and what is your fiber rollout targets? All right, let's bring up the next one. See what you're saying here. Let's bring up the next question. Kibet Andrew says, why are you always being associated with drug dealing? Let's deal with those two first.
Yes. I want to start with the last one.
Okay.
Who tells him I'm associated?
Even during the vetting, you answered that question.
I'm saying they asked me a question because Professor Saitoti placed on the table of the House a dossier about drug dealing in Kenya. It was investigated. Even when Americans were saying they need to take a few people to America to court, I offered myself. You understand? To go to America, District of Columbia, wherever it is, and I answer to charges. This is the country where it is wrong and evil to be rich. And I have no apologies.
Because you're considered very rich.
Very, indeed. And I'm happy. I thank God. So really, I don't know how drugs look like, Trevor. And I hear it is a trade. So if it's a trade, there must be buyers and sellers. So if I am a seller, Trevor, there must be someone like you, if you use, who has bought from me. You get?
Okay.
You get? So he continues peddling the rumor, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Because I know myself.
You can put it to rest here. So
I have done that a million times. It is not going to rest. I have to learn how to live with it. And I said in the vetting. Mm-hmm. So whoever it is that has asked that, I am associated because of that dossier.
Okay.
That's it.
And it is not because of your 3 billion shillings worth.
It's not.
People want.
I said
that money.
And I said conservative 3 billion.
So it is more than that.
I said conservative. This is English language.
Yes. That means it could be more than that.
Conservative.
So how?
It may be slightly more.
By how much?
Don't worry about that. That's not today's. That is the next fiber rollout.
Okay. Yes.
We are looking at a possibility of doing 100,000 kilometers of fiber.
Okay.
Funded by CA and partially by World Bank. We are slightly behind schedule because of logistics. And if you care to know, we're now going through Kenya Power lines because it will move faster. So we hope that in June, we shall have gotten into the target of 44,000 connections, probably at 70,000 kilometers.
Okay.
Of course, you understand that procurement is a problem in the country, and certain PMF Act law has to be followed in terms of procuring. some of the gadgets we are using in connectivity are imported. And this morning I had Kenya Power engineers and ICT, which is the ICT authority, who are the drivers of this program, with us in the ministry to try and fast track, because we need to get Kenya connected.
Okay.
If you had my vetting, I said I want to be the minister who connected Kenya.
All right. Your plans for artificial intelligence? Are you concerned?
We've now just been given the validation on the artificial intelligence draft policy, which we are hoping to be able to put in place immediately, because the world is going that way. And we happen to be the leading leader in this space in Africa. Yeah. But we are not saying that if we're the leader in Africa, we are the best. We have a long way to go.
Are you concerned that some jobs may be lost in the process, and now do you want the country to prepare for this?
If I tell you that I don't think jobs will be lost, I'll be lying to you, because that is what it is. But we cannot be left behind, because we are talking about losing jobs. Someone was telling me the other day that, why are you going to allow Elon Musk? Because he has the capacity to put internet everywhere. I said, you know, we have coverage of mobile networks, Safaricom and others, to some places, and others they don't have. Our fiber coverage does not cover those places, you get. So why wouldn't we allow third parties with satellite services to give internet to Kenyans high speed at reasonable prices? They say, no, Safaricom has employed too many people, you need to protect it. My friend, it's an open market. Let the market forces take effect. And you know, when that happens, the consumer benefits. That is my take.
Okay, so Starlink will be around?
It should be. I mean, it is. If I tell you it's not, I'll be lying, and you know it. And Trevor, to be honest, probably in your house.
So, but a plan for cyber security?
As you know, it is right now. You will hear people saying, "No, our data is being harvested. It is being used by KRA, this, that, and the other." Tomorrow is the annual day of cybersecurity, which is done every 28th of the year. We're on top of things as far as cybersecurity is concerned, and we have the laws in place, which we'll continue to review.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because we must be able to convince Kenyans that their personal data is safe. And we also need to stop rumor mongering about data. KRA has been given data. You know that before you would go and buy from a supermarket and you get a message on your phone for whatever it is that you have done, that means at that point they were harvesting people's data who are paid with M-Pesa. Now you will find that they have asterisks in between numbers. And that's a move in the right direction, so that Kenyans can be comfortable that their data is protected.
Okay.
But again, you know, with the new technology and these things, you stand the risk of very quick damages through AI. So AI is both very good, and we must be able to have some AI policy and laws that will protect internet users.
Yeah. How long will it take for this policy to be in place? You said it's just...
we're moving really fast. In the last cabinet, we put the policy on cloud in, so it should be going to gazettement. So I'm hoping that in the next cabinet, this paper, I shall be able to present it, and it shall go to gazettement. So it is really not a matter of too long.
Okay.
By March, we should be up and running.
All right. Let's bring up more questions coming in online at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya is the hashtag Citizen Monday Report. David from Kisumu says, why does your name always keep coming up as a person of interest in the murder of Mercy Keino? What is your truth?
Again, unfortunately, I will live with this question. You saw it at the vetting.
At the vetting as well, yes.
And I said that was just a matter of being at a place at the wrong time. and nothing else. A whole inquiry was done, inquest. That took months. When I was governor, I went there every morning, hoping that it would end soon. And it came out clear that this was a matter of hit and run. People saw it, and they came to the inquest. But still, you will find the people pulling it. So I've learned how to live with that answer. But I said in my parting shot, one day, Trevor, one day, the guy who ran over that lady will show up. And you know I will not buy someone to show up. Although, you know, if I say I have the capacity, this is what you will start taking all over. You understand? One day, I'm hoping, and I know, I never say things and they don't happen. So, an accident on the highway.
Yeah.
I came to learn about it. I will continue giving this story until probably my last breath, because it is there in public domain. You understand? At some point, I pleaded with the Father of Mercy that these tapes that are being brought to court, don't look at them. I am not stopping you from seeing them. They have been seen by many people. But what you will see there will not be nice. It will stick in your mind. But it was a very unfortunate thing. It came to be known to me 2 weeks after she had been buried. 2 weeks. Why? Because Mheshimiwa Keter from Bergut, is it Bergut or Bergut? That one. Went to the police and complained there is a girl from his constituent that died, and she died from a party where Honorable Kabogo was, and the police are doing a cover-up. Headlines. And that was it, Trevor. Nothing else. If I had seen her the following day after, and it was not a party, Trevor, this is a public restaurant which has a bar. And like people do in the evenings, wanaenda kuburudika baada ya kazi. You understand? I was there with 2 or 3 friends. And you understand that it is for public. Yeah. But I just happened to be there.
Did you meet her? Did you interact with her when you were there?
No, not at all. Not at all. The inquest file is there for them to look. But every time Kabogo comes, and I'm not saying this is done, I came here in my own motion. Yeah. You didn't force me to come here, and I will come again. Those who do not like Kabogo because Kabogo is like that, this is what they will do. And they can keep asking. So when you invite me next, when you start the questions, first ask those 2. Okay. We finish, then we can now have the other chat. Okay. You understand?
Let's see what else
we ask drugs.
Yeah.
We ask Mexican. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
But my conscience is clean.
Okay.
I've been to America many times after the drug issue. And I say this is an unfortunate thing that people want to capitalize on politics. I've been elected with this thing in place. Twice. First governor of Kiambu. So really, this, Trevor, is, can you imagine how much time we spend on it? I will still spend this time again. Okay. And another time. All right. And when you come out here, you will tell me, you know, this thing, what is this? So I'm used to it. Okay. Yes. And I have no problem with them asking. Okay. But get the phone of who is asking. Trace them where they are and who they speak to. You will see where they are. I'm causing a lot of heat right now in the Murima. That's why you said the sheriff is in town. It is true.
So you're the new sheriff?
It is true.
Okay.
Yes.
You're the new sheriff in Muleba?
When there was a gap, people occupy the gap. But when they see the gap looks like it's going to shift, there's a lot of worries. And I will tell people, I will continue speaking to them that hapa tumepotea. Hapa sio njia. Okay. Hii si njia, tutafute njia mwafaka. Okay. But so when you see the traffic, look at the traffic. Trevor, you are in this business.
Yes.
Look at the traffic of tonight. It's high.
Yes.
Yes.
You think it's because you're the...
What do you think? I go to Jeff Koinange, it is the same story.
Okay.
I go to Kameme, it is the same story. You understand? I probably should start earning on YouTube and the other platforms.
Yeah.
So really, we will always play politics because that's who we are.
Okay.
We play politics with everything. But do I have the capacity to do the job I've been given? The answer is yes, you know.
Okay.
I've done this before. I've ran a county perfectly well. No audit issues with Senate. I appeared every time they said, after we had refused to appear, and then it came out that we must, I started going. I went to Senate and I said to them, the day you have invited a governor and he doesn't show up, Kiambu is just next door. We did 3 years. This job I will do with dedication to serve my country.
Okay.
Yes.
We have to take a quick break, but there's a lot of questions coming through. Let's take one more and then take that break, if that's okay, Monica. The apostle says, please, Bwana Kabogo, what do you bring to the table as the new sheriff in town that you are unable to bring in Kiambu as the governor?
There you are. He's asking that I was unable. Trevor, you know the story of our health systems in Kiambu. It is public knowledge. So unless this guy is a returning resident from Maju,
yeah.
If he lives here, he knows I brought Kiambu to where I left it in 2017. I digitized the systems in Kiambu for revenue collection. We moved from 700 million to 2.7 billion. Trevor, 14 months.
But now he asks what you bring to the ministry.
It is that expertise, that capacity of putting resources and people together to get things moving. You go to the ministry now, I invite him, come to the ministry and listen to what's happening. Things are moving.
Okay.
They are moving too fast. Even I am worried sometimes.
Okay.
So that's what I bring.
All right.
I bring real management,
yeah,
and leadership.
Okay.
Because that's what we need. We need to be efficient and we need to be effective.
Okay. Waziri, let's squeeze in a quick break here. When we come back, we're still taking some of your questions. Let's keep sending them through. We'll try as much as possible to take as many as we can, all right? That coming up in just a short while.